Very good morning. Today we'll discuss in detail about methods. Because even though continuously in one or other way we used to come across this word, but as I told, everything I'll explain later. Like that, in the previous 2 units, I postponed. Okay, so today is the time to discuss in detail about that. First, just I'll represent how this particular methods, even though many of you may be knowing this, anyway, just listen and trace whether what you are knowing is correct or not. Like that, we will proceed. Just I'll take you. Anyway, we are discussing unit 3, and in the last class we have observed how to create class. What is the class? Logical framework, what we told, and physical reality is what an object. And after discussing that, okay, we should know something about the method. Okay, because method is what constantly we are using. In the last class we written like class A, it contains some particular instance variables. That's what we told. Instance variables, variable 1, variable 2, like that, n variables it may contain. And along with that we are with the methods. Okay, so that's what we define. And my discussion today is to tell you about the methods. And as you know, a method is nothing but a function. Function means what? That means instead of repeatedly writing the same code, like if we are something like square root, because this one you are familiar, that's why I am using that itself. Let us consider square root. Okay, so square root, finding the square root, I'll write some particular function by passing 4. I'll write that, and after some time, just I wanted to write the square root of 100. Once again I'll repeat the code, like that. Instead of repeating this, okay, what I'll do is I'll separate this from the program, and there I will write generally, like not for 4 or 100. I'll write this for n number, and I'll write the statement for that. Whoever wants to use that method, they will invoke that, and the value will be returned. So that is what the idea. And this is called as function in some particular languages, and subroutine in some particular languages, like that. And one thing, like when you are invoking a function, there are two particular methods that also just we'll discuss, even though it is not related to Java. This is irrespective of any particular language. See, whenever you are calling, like let us consider, whenever your function means you have to call a function. Let us take one example. I'll write fun function I'll invoke. So somewhere I'll write the body of that. Okay, it will give some particular result. Now, see, function, when I am calling this, it will go to that particular place, and after this particular statement is executing, it will return back to where it is called. Okay, so this is caller, and after this particular process is over, it will return. That is one way. Instead of this, whenever I am calling, see, once again I am calling this function, means once again it will invoke this method, and the result will be returned at this particular place. This is one way. So instead of this, there is also, you can do like this, class A. Whenever this function is there, it will replace that. Whenever this function is there, it will replace that. That means instead of going there, it will call this function and it will replace at this place. That is called inline function. Okay, instead of control will go to that itself, it will invoke that code to the caller. That particular process is called inline function. Means it's for your knowledge, just I defined. Okay, calling, and instead of control will go to that function itself. Function will come and reside where it is called. It is called inline function. Okay, it's not our interest anyway. Just I defined, because this particular statement sometimes when you are reading some programming language, it may come. That's why inline function means it will line with the code. Okay, where it is called, it will replace. So how many times you are calling, so many times it will replace. And that is what the drawback of that particular inline function. Anyway, instead of using, from now onwards, be specific. Whenever this particular function comes in the program, we will define that as a method. No longer I will define that as a function. I will tell that as a method. That means if I write anything like open brace, close brace, and body of that, and return type. Okay, return type. Always method means it should have, see the syntax, return type should be there. What particular this method returns, and name of the method, and open brace. Parameter are optional. If no parameter, it is just open brace, close brace, and body flower bracket. So this is what the syntax of any method. Java is a collection of built-in methods. User also can define their own methods. And please remember, we are already having one method, that is main. Is it not? See, main, it contains return type. What is the return type? Void. It contains open brace, and inside that it is not default like open brace, close brace. It contains one argument. It is of type string array. Is it not? That is also a method. Open brace, close brace. So this is built-in method, and this is what method. And I'll take you directly to the programming and how you can write a method and where it should be. Okay, I'll open the page. I hope it is visible. As usual, class A public static void main, that will be there. And as I'll take you to the previous thing what we discussed, one particular class we returned, that is box, and there we declared three variables of double type, double, that is width, height, and depth. Is it not? This is what we defined. Now, and we also observed that how to initialize and how to declare that, how to create an object. How to create an object? Box or type object I wanted to create means box reference first. And for that, you have to allocate the memory. New, and what type? Box type. Is it not? So this is what, how to create an object. And you know that you can write one more object reference like this, but it is not having any particular physical existence because we are not allocated any memory to that. You can do that with just instead of assigning, I'll assign OB to that. See, now OB1 refers to that value. Later, I'll make OB is equal to null. That means no longer OB is referring to box. Is it not? Just I'll print now. See, system.out.print. Just I will print default value, that is OB.width. What actually you will get? Okay. That particular value, what I am getting is with respect to that particular value, that we'll see by executing. See, just it is telling that box is already there. I'll make it box 1. Type of box is already defined. Error. Okay. Anyway, it is taking from somewhere else. Just I'll give some other name. P1. Exception. Cannot read width. See this? I think you are observing this because field width, because OB is null. We made this null, so it unable to access that. Okay, so that's what. Instead of that, I'll make OB1 dot width. See, OB1 is actually pointing to that. We'll see whether width is possible to access that or not. Yes, definitely it is 0.0. See, this is what happens like when you made it null, but still OB1 is still pointing because you assigned the memory to OB1. Okay, so this is what in the last class we have observed, and with this knowledge, I'll now go to method. See, in the last class, you have observed that you initialize it. Okay, I'll just delete this. Just I'll take you to previous thing itself. That is, we assigned ob dot width some value. Let us consider 10, and ob dot height some value, and then ob dot depth some value. Is it not? This is what we did, and we also computed some double dot volume. That one we computed ob dot width multiplied by ob dot height multiplied by ob dot depth. Is it not? This is what we did, and I'll display the value of volume. Volume like that I'll write. Okay, and I'll print that. I'll print that value. See, when you are executing, this is what the output you are getting. Okay, now what I'll do is, and if you remember yesterday, I also written one more class, pencil. There also you can declare same type of variable. All these things you understood. Now what I'll do is, instead of computing like this, I'll write one method. And what shall we give the method name as? Volume. Is it not? And let us consider method will not return anything. Okay, very simple method. And open brace, close brace. Only this much. Okay. Open brace, close brace. Extra bracket is there. Just I'll delete that. See this, and what I'll do is the statement what we written here. Is it not? These two. Okay, I'll copy and I will paste in this particular method. Okay, see here. Here it is not identifying what is OB because it is not able to get that. Just I'll remove that. OB is not needed there. Just I'll remove that because it is defined inside one class, and class already declared what is width, height, depth. Okay, we just will do like this. Okay, and see, instead of computing there itself, I return this. See, please remember like who are familiar with C and C++. See, method you can't write outside. It should be in some class. In Java, everything should be inside the class itself. Okay, that you already know. That's why I'm not explained that once again. All the code should be inside some class. So anyway, this method is inside the class B1. Now, so what we'll do, we already initialized it. Now we invoke that method. What is the name of the method? Name of the method is volume. So I'll call that name volume. See, if I write like this, it's unable to identify what is volume. It is shouting, it is telling some error. Method volume is undefined in type A. In A, you don't know anything about volume. Where is volume actually? Volume is in class B1, is it not? So what you have to do? You have to invoke that with object of type B1. See, now it identified what is volume. Okay, so that's what instance method. That's what instance variable. Because see, ob.width, ob.height, that means anything defined in class B1, you have to access with the object of that type. That's why it is called instance variables. And volume is instance method because with the help of object, you invoke that. Okay. Now, if you execute this, what happens? You'll get the value of that because already value of width, height, depth you initialize it, and whenever this computation takes place, width, height, depth is actually come with the value of this. Let us consider I'll not initialize any value. Then what happens? Okay, if you not initialize anything, I'm calling the volume. What you will get? That we'll see. You'll get 0 because by default value it will take because you already initialized. See why how it is taking this particular 0 because we allocated the memory. When we initialize that, okay, it is considering 0 to the data type what it is declared. So this is what about how to invoke the method. Now we'll go on doing some changes to that. We'll explore more information about that. See, this is what method you invoked, and there itself I am printing. Okay, there itself I am printing, and it is residing in another class. Now, instead of printing there, what I will do is I'll catch where I am calling that. Okay, because I don't want to print in this method itself because I wanted to do only computation in the method and a result I want back. So it should be like this. Okay, I'll print here itself. That means the value what actually it is returning, I will store to some data type. Let us consider double because all variables what computing is double. Okay, I'll catch to that. But it is showing an error. Why it is showing an error? See this type mismatch because volume is returning void. It is not at all returning anything. Okay, it is telling void, but you are catching that to double type. So what you have to do? You have to change this void into double. It's as easy. Okay, volume you are catching to double type. Volume you are catching to double type. And you should return. See why it is showing an error because you are telling that it is double type, it has to return, but you are not at all returning anything. So we'll make return. What it should return? It should return the value which is computed. Value, what actually it is computed, you have to return. See, this will be catched to this and you are printing. Same output you will get if you execute this program. See, this is where the difference. The method which returns the value. Method return any type of all the data types what you studied, primitive like integer, float, double, char, short, byte, boolean, anything your method will return. Even method will return arrays. Okay, like that the argument also you can consider. Okay, because and this is what first thing what we learned is how to write one method which prints there itself. Second, we studied method which will return the result. Okay. Now, I'll show you one more. Even though you have written, okay, let it be. We will not touch this. I'll further move to copy this method itself. And it will show the error because volume is already declared. Let us declare volume 1. Okay. See, I'll pass the value instead of writing one default method. Okay, I am having instead of declaring like this and passing the value, directly I'll pass the value to the method. Telling such method is not there. Such method is not there because it takes default. So what to do? Just I'll comment this because otherwise it generates an error. What I'll do is I'll follow the volume where 3 parameters I am passing, is it not? I'll take that into 3 variables, int A, int B, comma, int C. This int A, int B, int C. Follow carefully. First, I return just a volume default. I think it's clear. Next, I return the method which returns the value. That's fine. Third step, what I am doing is I am passing, instead of calling the default method, I am passing some parameters to that method. And according to that, that method also I have modified. 3 variables I am passing. So I'll catch that A, B, C. I have to name that. Is it not? The 3 values what I am passing is, I have to name something because you can't write 11, 12, 33 here. Is it not? You have to catch to some variable. Okay, now what happens? What output you will get if you catch that volume and if you print that, we'll see what happens. Follow carefully. So immediately, if you are unable to follow, means later you watch the video once again slowly and try to understand the things. All this information, I think if you are having a programming knowledge, definitely you may be knowing. See, we'll see what is the output. Output is 6,000. How it is coming? I am passing 11, 22, 33, but you are getting 6,000. How it is? Because you initialized this width, height, depth means only this. It will not override ABC. If you get the value means what you have to double value should be A multiplied by B multiplied C. Then only you will get that value, is it not? See, now the output will be different. Is it not? 7,986. So this is what happens. Like this is how to get the value. That means you can pass the parameter. Without parameter also it will work like that. Anyway, it is just to show you how you can pass the parameters to the method. Okay. Any number of parameters you can pass. Anyway, we'll keep that original one itself as it is. I'll just comment this. See, this is what happens. Like the value you can initialize and value you can pass. Okay, because see why it happens means you have declared the variable inside the class B1 and it is completely hidden. That's why it is the concept encapsulated data hiding. Even though access specifiers are there, for time being we are not discussing any access specifiers. We have a patience, public, private, protected, nothing I am using. Just I declared without any particular access specifiers. Okay, still I unable to access this information outside this class. To do that, I want object of type B1. Okay, anything, method or variables, I have to create object. Now, see how to call that function either with this, okay, or you have to pass the values. And you learned how you can get the value from the method and how directly you can print there itself. Now, further, see, instead of assigning directly to the variable, what I'll do is I'll write one more function. Okay, that function, let us consider that function is set dimension or anything which will initialize set dimension. Okay, so what I'll do is like 11, 22, 33, like that, I'll pass. Okay, and here I'll write that method. Okay, any number of methods you can write, there is no limitation, but it should be within the class. See, let us consider set dimension, the same, any name you can give. Okay, double itself, double W, double H, double D. See this, I written a set dimension function which takes three arguments, W, H and D. Okay, W, H and D, and these all are local variables, okay, which is local. When you are invoking set dimension function, this will be invoked, set dimension, it will be invoked. Okay, this local variable I'll initialize to the class variable. W means width, height means H, okay, and depth is equal to D. Okay, now see, instead of calling like this, now I'll comment this type of initialization. I return one method, dimension. Instead of, anyway, I'll pass 10, 20, 30 itself. Okay. So these values will be initialized to the variables, that is instance variables, which are defined inside the class. Okay. And when you are calling the volume, it will take that value itself. See, you'll get 6,000 without any problem. Is it not? And once again, if after printing this, once again, if you call this particular method by different values, okay, it will give that output because it initializes new value to these particular variables, width, height, depth. So this is how this particular values you can set because you are initializing the local variables. These are local, is it not? It is inside some other class. It is inside the class A, is it not? From A, what I am doing is I am passing these values so that these values will be initialized to the instance variables. That means the variables which are defined inside the V1. Is it not? So once it is assigned that, you can use that independently. So this is how you can initialize. But see, each time you are writing some method and passing that, it is some tedious process. Is it not? We are not very much comfortable in doing that because I have to write extra method which is doing for initialization itself. Is it not? So instead of that, I am with the new concept that is called constructor. Okay, constructor. Please remember, we are moving towards very important particular statement that is called constructor, because see the method, how method looks: return type, some void at least, name of the method, open brace, close brace, and flower bracket. Okay, inside a class. So instead of writing the method which will do the initialization, what I will do is I will use the constructor. So what is constructor? Constructor, first we'll see how you can work with constructor. Then I'll tell the definition of that. See, instead of doing the set dimension, what I'll do is I'll create one object, more object of type OB, that is B1, that is OB1, which is new B1. There I'll pass this 10, 20, 30. Instead of writing separate function as such, separate method as such. Okay, it is showing an error because B1 is defaultly it is accepting, but with parameters it is not accepting. Then what is this? What is this B1 and B1 with parameter? In detail that we'll see in next class, but just instead of that, okay, what I'll do is just I'll show you. I'll remove this set dimension inside the class. What is the name of the class? Class name is B1. By that name itself, I'll write like a method, okay, but it is not a method. It is called constructor because it does not have any return type. See, constructor will not have any return type. Okay, instead of writing separate method and initializing, okay, with that name itself, see, ಈ ತರ ಎಲ್ಲ ಬರೆಯೋದೇ ಬೇಡ, ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಈಗ ಓಪನ್ ಬ್ರೇಸ್ ಕ್ಲೋಸ್ ಬ್ರೇಸ್ ಇತ್ತಲ್ಲ ಅದ್ರೊಳಗೆ ನಾವು ಪಾಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. Okay, when you are passing that, it will once again, as earlier we did declared that arguments and we initialized that, automatically it will initialize. Okay, now if you execute this program, same output you will get. What is the error? It is telling some default constructor. Anyway, I'll comment this. Just we'll see what happens, whether you'll get the once again error. Okay, what is the error? OB1. Oh, it should be OB1. Always you should get the errors, then only you are familiar with the programming. See, 6000 is, see, B1 I'm passing, and just I initialize it and I'm getting the output. Okay, this is what constructor v1 their argument. Then what is this? Is it not a constructor? Is it not? Is it not a constructor? That one we'll discuss in next class. Thank you. Keep watching and you'll get more ideas about the method. Okay, in detail about constructor we'll discuss in next class. Thank you.